According to a Bloomberg report, a political controversy has started after Donald Trump claimed that an Italian Prime Minister, Meloni, was eager to get a photo with him. Wow. So the problem is that Meloni has publicly rejected that version of events and said that is not ever happened, never took place. So when you look at this situation, the first question a lot of people are asking, very simple, why create this kind of controversy at the first place, right? So this is not a small disagreement between two ordinary people. These are world leaders. Every word they say gets reported all around the globe. Every statement is examined by the media, diplomats, investors, and millions of ordinary citizens. Because of that, accuracy matters a lot. So that controversy became so bigger because Meloni did not stay silent. She pushed back against the claim. Now, she said very clear they did not agree with Trump's version of events. And that immediately created a situation where people are left asking who is telling the truth. So for many observers, the issue is bigger than a photograph. So the issue is credibility. When a leader makes a public statement and another leader directly challenges it, people naturally start questioning what really happened right here. So the critics argue that if the story was exaggerated or completely invented, then it becomes a very embarrassing moment. They say that the President of the United States represents one of the most powerful countries in the entire world. With that position comes responsibility. People expect facts, accuracy, and professionalism, right? So now a lot of commentators, they are pointing out that international politics is already complicated enough. As we all know that countries, they face economic challenges, security concerns, trade disputes, and diplomatic negotiations every single day. In that environment, argument over asked for a photograph can look unnecessary and distracting, especially when we don't know who is lying right here. So what makes this story so interesting is how quickly it spreads. Within hours, media organization, political analytics, and social media users everywhere, they're discussing about it. Some people defend Donald Trump and argue that the media often overreacts to his comments. And others, they said, issue is serious because public trust depends on leaders being truthful, not lying. So the criticism is especially about strong because this involves an ally. Italy and the United States have a long-standing diplomatic relationship. Now, when the leaders from a friendly country publicly disagree about a basic fact, it creates awkward headlines and unnecessary tensions and embarrassments. And some analysts, they say this controversy reflects a larger problem in modern politics today. Because the story moves faster than ever. A single comment can become a global news within seconds, within minutes. Once a claim is made publicly, millions of people hear this before all the facts are known. By the time corrections or denials appear, the original story may already have spread everywhere all around the world. So that is why many people believe public figures should be extremely careful with their words. A president is not just another politician. No. The office carries enormous influence. Statement made by U.S. president can affect international relationships, public opinions, and even financial markets. Now, on the other hand, supporters of Trump, of course, they see things very differently. They argue that political opponents and part of media are always looking for a reason to criticize Donald Trump. Now, they also say disagreement between the leaders happens all the time and the story is being blown out of proportion. But if you hear the critics, they respond with a simple point. They say that if another world leader clearly say a story is not true, then questions should be asked. They argue that credibility is one of the most important assets of any leader they have. Now, the debate is now less about photograph itself. It's more about the trust. Can people rely on what their leaders say? Probably a different leader give completely different accounts of the same event, right? It becomes difficult even for the public to analyze that, what really happened behind the scenes. Now, for many people watching this all around the world, the entire situation feels so unnecessary. They would rather see leaders discussing economic growth, international security, energy prices, and major global challenges and trades, instead of personal disputes and photo conversation. That is hilarious for me. Now, the reality is that world leaders are constantly under scrutiny. Every gesture, every comment, and every interaction is analyzed. And that part of the job, because of that, accuracy and honesty becomes even more important and is becoming unnecessary. So in the end, this controversy is probably created a lot of headlines all around the world, and Bloomberg reported the disagreement, and now people are debating not only the original claim, but also the broader question of political credibility. That's crazy for me. If Meloni's version is the event is correct, the critics say it would deeply embarrassing a moment for the President of the United States. If Donald Trump's version is correct, then the criticisms may be probably unfair. Until there's a clear evidence, we have to wait. The larger lesson is very simple. Public trust is difficult to earn, easy to lose. Leaders can disagree on policy, strategy, and ideology, but when disputes arise over basic facts, people naturally start asking harder questions. And that is why this story attracts so much attention. It's not only about the photograph, it's all about the credibility,